So, I think it's a Wednesday, which means I think it's time for your guys' daily dose of the red-headed Lindsay that is not the low-hand kind. I have gone and pick up my mail. Gone. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think it makes sense. But my grandma apparently sent me something, and I see the envelope. Apparently mine's already opened one, while my mom gets a nice concealed envelope. But in it, there's supposed to be something for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing that because I like getting stuff from my grandma because she's very considerate. And then it gives me an excuse to call her up and be like, "Hey, thanks for this. How's your life?" Yeah. I was about to start recording, but earlier when I was like, "Why is it dark?" So I went and turned on some of the lights behind me because in here there are two light switches, and I thought both of them were on, but apparently they weren't. So I went and fixed that. As you can see, it's much more brighter than it would be in the darkness of it all. Interesting news, I'm putting green in my hair. If you can't see that, it's green. Just because I feel like it, no other reason. I just tried to brighten it again, and I don't know if, I can't tell if it did anything in my little camera right there, but I kind of hope it did. Unfortunately, it's dark outside, and I have giant windows in my living room, so they're very just sort of, we are going to decide the light for you. I could try and brighten the outside with the outside lights, but I highly doubt that will do any good difference compared to inside lights. And you know, for me, just like not looking at the camera, it's pretty bright in here. Like I have lights over here on, and the entryway, the dining room, and the kitchen, and where I eat. Even in the living room, obviously. And then the TV's pretty bright too. You think, oh hey, this should be a little bit brighter. But no, that's not the case, is it? I think we should move on from my ways of saying how I'm not helping the planet with all my lights on and talk about what I was originally going to talk about because this is already at 2 minutes. So I think I should start talking about what I was going to talk about because in the title it says up close and personal, question mark? Yeah. And so it's time to move on. So originally I was going to talk about myself because Julia's done that, and Kim's kind of talked about her tragedy of a love story with technology, and so I feel it's time for mine, don't you think? One thing about me is that if you can't tell by my Facebook pages or wall posts, statuses, I don't know what they're called anymore. If you notice by them, I'm kind of a Doctor Whovian person, you know? And I think my favorite part about it, hold on, there's a clock going off. Okay, it's done. So, as I was saying, I'm a Doctor Who fan. I think it's mostly because the way they put science and science travel together, or not science travel, time travel together, because there's always like, oh, if we go back in time, what if this happened? It's like they have a different way of imagining it. And they bring together these entire huge worlds, and it's like, oh my god, I wish I was in this version of the world as it was, where an actual Time Lord came with a blue box and said, come away with me and we will see the stars, because that'd be really fun. Another thing I really seem to enjoy nowadays is driving. I'm pretty sure most teenagers who have their license are like, oh yeah, freedom, love driving. It's like, I can understand that. It's like, come on, we don't have to be like, hey, mom, so could you take me to my friend's house and then pick me up at this time? It's like, no, you're just like, hey mom, I'm going to my friend's house, I'll be home at this time, which is a lot more convenient, and you don't feel like, oh, I'm kind of wasting my mom's gas money and I'm making her become my chaperone and not my mother, which is kind of disrespectful if you ask me. Respect, you know, peace. Another thing I really seem to enjoy is being alone. Now, I don't mean in a sense like, oh, I'm going to become a crazy cat lady and own 4 million cats in this tiny little apartment. No, I will not become that. But I enjoy my space, and when I have a nice big house to myself like I do right now, I feel really at peace and calm and happy. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but I really just love it. I do love hanging out with my friends because they make my day and world just so much brighter and fun and silly and nonsensical. I'm gonna make that word right now, okay? And that's just what I love about them. But when I come home, I like coming home, sitting on the couch, and not hearing like someone just start going off and being all like, yada 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 yada, complain. Because mom, teenage daughter, oh, I do so much wrong. So it's kind of like at 5 minutes, and I feel like if I talk any more of myself, it will become uninteresting. So I'm gonna end it here right now. Well, after this ends.